Alright, so online students must be audible now. Main idea based question, the characteristic of this question, the different terminology for this question used by UPSC. We started that yesterday. I told you about certain tricks that you can use to be confirm and to be confident about your answer. And the first one I discussed with you was reverse. When you choose an option, since the nature of the question is that it wants the core of the passage in the option. So if the core you are choosing, it means that the chosen option should represent the passage. So this way we can apply the reverse trick. So number one I discussed with you, reverse. Take the option and then think of the passage. So this will reveal something. Second, I told you that while evaluating the options, the wrong options are written there, and of course the examiner will try to highlight the wrong answers. So if you keep this analogy on mind that the passage is like an orange, we have different elements in the orange, but we want juice. So main idea based question and its answer should be akin to juice, analogical to juice, main component. So the secondary material should not be the answer like seed and pulp and peel. Whether they are in the passage, that's okay, but they should not be present in the passage. So any option which is only representing the secondary material will obviously be dismissed. And second quality I told you that from this analogy you can draw is that any foreign information, I mean by foreign that external source based which is not given in the passage should also not be there in the option. So on this basis you can evaluate the wrong option and dismiss them. So this orange juice analogy and this reverse trick. And the third and the ongoing was that I told you that there are different tools which are related to writing. A writer knows them and he has made a plan around them, how to write his point. So if we know about them, it also enables us to in fact evaluate the options carefully. And I was discussing with you the writing style, right? I discussed multiple points here. Writing style, tone, structure, and you will agree that this is also helpful for your own writing, right? When you start writing the answer, you have to think of your own structure, that how to write. Here I digress for a minute. As I told you yesterday, the reading, writing, listening and speaking all are closely entwined because they all are part of your communication. A very common problem with the answers writing is that students sometimes they repeat the things what they have said, or they don't say anything new what they have already said. It's just because the ideas and expressions they get muddled up somewhere, and in the middle of the paragraph or towards the end you restart the point that you have already said. So if you think of the structure, this chance of repetition can be avoided. Okay, this is the question. I will first give my main point. Suppose you have thought that in the very beginning of the paragraph, I will write my opinion in the first sentence or maybe the first two sentences. And after that, I will explain it if there is a need. If there is any suitable example, I will go for that. So kind of set is there. Similarly, if you go for cause and effect, if you go for maybe you will start with analyzing some ongoing issue or some topic and then you give your own clarification. So actually the structure can help you in writing also, and in the standard writing of course in the passages we will always find a very good structure present there, right? So this was going on. I told you a couple of new points today we will add and then we will take up number 4 trick. So first let me finish the third one. Let's go to the booklet. In the beginning part, on page number 4, this box is given. And here all these tools are listed which are in some way important for you. We have discussed tone, topic, subtopic, writing, tone and tenor, and structure. Now, this point, number 5, topic or focus sentence. Not necessarily that in all types of written communication there will always be a topic or focus sentence. It's not like that. But yes, in persuasive writing, you will certainly come across a topic or focus sentence. As the name suggests, the topic or focus, it means it will hold the very core of the argument. Argument, the general understanding of argument is that when two persons have heated discussion, some kind of verbal altercation. But this word argument we will use in the class for a different purpose. And this argument means any paragraph where the author has a certain point to establish. Establish means to prove. If he wants to make some, if he wants to prove a point, this paragraph will be called an argument. So for argument, it's clear. So topic or focus sentence, it means persuasive writing where a certain argument is given, an author is trying to prove it. So of course, when he will try to prove it, he will give some logic and reasoning. He will also give some data to prove his point, or he will highlight the fault in the counterpoints in others' theory. And you will find that the argument is a very sharp structure. It's not like a literary piece of writing where all the, flowery thing and beauty of the language is present there. Here it will be very sharp. The author will say that the policy announced by the government XYZ policy will not be successful because, and then he will give you the premises, the reasons, right? So our topic or focus sentence is the sentence which holds the main point of the argument. Clear? Yesterday we did a passage. दिखा देता हूँ मैं आपको वो. देखिए writing style में there was one passage given. This passage number 7. You have already done it. Transplanting animal organs into human beings should not be allowed. Very sharp. And everything which is there actually is trying to prove this point. So this is the topic sentence. For a topic or a focus is the focus on which the author has built up and he has tried to prove that. So if you have a topic sentence, you should not miss it. On passage 4, page number 4, on the first page itself, here is a small para. There is a strong relation between limited education and low income. We are supposed to identify the topic sentence. A strong relation between limited education and low income. Then he goes into the details. Statistics show that unemployment rates are highest among those adults who attended school the fewest year. Unemployment is higher there. Most jobs in a modern industrial society require technical or advanced training. It means higher education they require, right? The best pay goes with the jobs that demand thinking and decisions based on knowledge. It means higher education. So you have noticed that whatever he has said in the first line is being carried forward. He's trying to prove that. एक substantial support इसको है in the second sentence, third sentence. It means the track on which the paragraph is set is being propagated by this part. It means this part is the explanation, is the support part of the first sentence. His point, his opinion is that a strong relation between limited education and low income, and he is trying to show it with various points. What is the topic sentence? Of course, the first one. Got it? So, he has also digressed after a few lines, so let me complete this para. He says a few people manage to overcome their limited education by personality or a lucky break. There could be some exceptional cases. A person is not highly educated, yet because of his personality or because of his lucky break. Can you cite any manifestation of this lucky break? Maybe he has got married to the daughter of a CEO of a company and the next day he was appointed as manager, though he was not highly educated. So maybe a lucky break. Right, I'm just citing an example. So this sentence, dear, is a digression. Yes, please. You have your own experience? Now, so what he started, he's going on the same, less education, less income, and this is the sentence where he has accepted the exceptional cases, but then he resumes his original point. He says, however, studies of lifetime earning show that the average high school graduate earns more than the average high school dropouts. who in turn earns more than the average adult who has not. The first sentence is being proven by the entire para, right? So you are going to now underline the topic sentence in the remaining passages. Page number 4, passage number 1, 2, 3, 4 we have already done. Remaining, all the remaining passages, quickly read and just underline the sentence. Online students, when you write the answer, just mention whether it is first sentence, so you can write S1, S2. If it is the last sentence of para, it is SL. The last passage 6 is a CSAT passage asked in 2021 paper, and it's a challenging one. Swerve means to deviate, deviation from some path, deflection. तो गाड़ी चलाते हुए deviate करना पड़ा in the direction of the car just to avoid hitting someone is swerve. Done? In case the last passage is giving you tough time, just leave it. We'll discuss this. And this, somebody asked me this word, this meaning of swerve. Guys, in the same booklet, in the last part, the word list is given. These are the critical word lists for RC section. Have been taken from the passages which have been repeatedly you asked in the words, in the passages. So your job is just, have you seen this? How many of you have really gone through that list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5 students saw that. This list is there in the towards the end. अभी मत देखिए, अभी कोई फायदा नहीं है, घर पे देखिएगा इसको, right? So the meaning part is left for you. All those words that you know, you are supposed to write down the meaning of those words. The words that you do not know, obviously you are supposed to go for the online dictionary, write their meaning. But one thing you must analyze there, whether the 275 given words which are there, whether you know 50% of them or not. This is a very good parameter to know about your vocab level, right? I believe that each aspirant of civil services must know at least 50% words of the list. I've seen here the students who said कि sir just 5 words I don't know out of the entire list. ऐसे भी बच्चे हैं. तो अगर ठीक है तो it will give you a good idea about your own word bank. Now coming back to the questions you have solved. Online students, none of you wrote the answer. I told you write in the form of S1, S2. Whatever exercise I assigned in the class, you must do it then and there. देखिए 80% of RC section इतना स्कोर करना मुश्किल काम नहीं है, provided you follow the regime. Now, कुछ चीज बहुत बेसिक आपको लगेगी. Obviously is the beginning, so I have given this kind of small exercises because many students have not been in touch with reading. They have been reading newspaper, magazines and their standard books, but the reading there and the reading here is slightly different. Reading there is actually everything written there in an explanatory manner. वो समझाने के लिए आपको बुक पढ़ा रहा है, तभी तो उसकी बुक बिकेगी. ये आपको पढ़ा नहीं रहा है. Author does not care about your understanding, so he sometimes does not bother about explanation of the things, है ना? कल आपने main idea निकाला था. He just said working condition in the factories were unpleasant and dangerous. He did not say that I am giving you examples, but he gave the examples. So it means you have to apply your analytical skill to notice the connection between the two. So that is the challenge here in RC's questions. And RC questions में accountability भी है because you have to solve the question. After reading an editorial, you do not know कि आप कितना समझ पाए हैं because there is no question there. So that's the reason this basic exercise. Coming to this, I think that you should have underlined the first sentence. This is the key sentence here. The world faces a serious problem of overpopulation. How serious this problem is being explained in this part. The magnitude of the severity has been explained. Anyone doubtful? So the first sentence is topic sentence. Yes, class? Second? Very simple. Just 2 sentences are given there and it's a persuasive one. An author has a point to establish. There is no good reason to object to paying for admission to museums and art galleries. There is no good reason. Why? Just like, after all, you have to pay to go to theater. It means the second part is used as a reason to justify the first one. Yes? The second one is a supporting part, is the author's logic to establish his first point. So the first sentence is the topic sentence. Yes? Okay. Third one, here in the beginning, author has gone into some details without giving anything in a substantial form to establish what he wants to convey. But in the last part, he concludes. So it's a tribute to Southern leadership and the courage of the people that they were not defeated for 4 years. He wants to say that in spite of all these helplessness, resourcelessness, yet they hold their courage. The last sentence is the topic sentence. So we have seen that there is no fixed place of a topic sentence. It depends on the author. Sometimes it is at the very beginning, at times it is in the middle or at the end. कोई फिक्स प्लेस नहीं है. Have you got the last one? Yes. Which sentence here in passage 5? First sentence. We needed in order to assess safety for humans. After that, he has started telling the premise, the reason. So the first sentence, this part, and now the CSAT passage. For sure, the class is going to be divided here. Fourth is left. Fourth I have already done. Didn't I explain that? This is the fourth. Done now. Sixth passage we are doing now. Fifth is done. Sixth, the last one. अब बताइए क्या आंसर आपने किया यहाँ? The first sentence, last sentence, middle कौन सा? Fourth sentence. Fourth line. Okay. What does it say? Very good. Commodification of technology. It means the first sentence. So what we are looking for, what does the author want to say? What does the author want to convey? You know, ये है. Up to convey something, he will write lots of things. We have to find that. So he has mentioned in the first sentence, how many have chosen first? Immediate future, we will see the increasing commodification of technologies. And then he gives the list, the examples, different technology. But does he want to just inform us that there will be increased commodification of technology? Only this part? No. His attitude is not clear from the first sentence. It is just an informative sentence. तो कई बार ऑथर आपको एक जनरल स्टेटमेंट और एन इंफॉर्मेटिव सेंटेंस ऐसे दे देता है, फिर वो कहना क्या चाहता है, हमें यही ढूंढना है कि वो कहना क्या चाहता है. तो जब कहना चाहता है वो आता है एक छोटे से सेंटेंस में, और वो है दिस विल पोज conundrums. conundrum ये भी आपके लिस्ट में है. What is conundrum? Yes, please. Problems. Very good. Conundrums means problems, complex situations. So he says this increasing commodification will be problematic in future. Will pose some challenges, threats, and the threats are there. So it means this driverless car has been used here as a premise, as a point of, as a piece of evidence to establish this point. It will pose challenge, right? So this sentence actually reveals the author's main point. Now, here the word is swerve, which I have to, that swerve means to deviate, right? Jaywalker is a person who deliberately violates, a pedestrian जो पैदल चल रहा है, who deliberately violates the traffic rule. चलना चाहिए फुटपाथ पे और रोड पे चल रहा है, ऐसा person jaywalker. How many jaywalkers we have here? तो jaywalker. ORN में तो खैर आप हो सकते हैं jaywalker, that is not big deal. बड़ा बाजार रोड तो ऐसे ही है. Now, is there any other word here? No. All fine. So this is the threats, and this threat starts from here. So the topic sentence must be noticed. In persuasive writing, you will always come across a topic sentence. I come back to that box. Let's take up the other one. ये हो गया. Up comes this sixth sentence, which is transition of an idea and transition sentence. Number 6. Yes, please. Yes. I don't want you to write anything. I just wanted you to highlight ki, okay, which sentence you feel that hold the gravity of the passage. So that was this will pose conundrums. Right, and this stands for the commodification of technology, increasing commodity. So that's what I wanted. A transition, the name, everybody knows transition. Huh? Transition, change. एक state से दूसरे state आप आ गए. Huh? Now that is a transition. You are a future incumbent. Transition of idea and transition sentence. You have you will notice that when author starts writing about something, let's say that he is going on this track, the moment he changes the track and goes to another subtopic, this is called the transition of idea. ये है transition. And some authors, while going from one subtopic, so for subtopic I'm writing here ST1, and for the new one is ST2. From ST1 to ST2, when he goes, some author write a transition sentence in between to establish the bridge, to bridge the gap between the two, to bridge the gap, so that the reader. So, जब transition sentence is written by the author, then it becomes quite easy for the reader to understand the things. Everything falls in place, in perspective. Problem arises when he goes to, he does transition, but does it very abruptly. Abruptly, I mean that no transition sentence is written there. But from one to another, he has changed the dimension. He is now covering another facet. तो आपको वहां समझना होगा कि हाउ ही इट हैज चेंज. अब यू हैव नोटिस्ड इन द प्रीवियस पैसेज, first he tells कि increasing commodification of technology will happen in future. He gives various examples, driverless car, this, that, aeroplane and all. And then he changes and he says this will pose challenges, problems in future. Now this sentence altogether brings a new dimension to the idea. If the author continues on the same track, then there is no transition. Right? So, a transition sentence, there is no mathematical rule कि always an author should write transition sentence. Sometimes they write, sometimes they don't. अब एक author है वो आपको causes बता रहा है. Suppose he's discussing cause number 1, cause number 2, and suddenly he goes to effect without writing any transition sentence. So you are supposed to notice that. Now, let's take another exercise. Page number 10, passage number 6. Daily people are being bombarded with a mountain of facts and figures. This particular exercise, there are a couple of more paragraphs given in this section. And here I want you to identify the functioning of each sentence. So please read this and then give the answer as true or false to the given statement. 2 minutes. Akriti, I missed your question, and this is for passage 6. It was this will pose conundrums, the second sentence. Transition sentence, Rashika, Rakshita, the transition sentence is when the author moves from one aspect to another aspect, one dimension to another dimension. Like there's one transition done in this passage. Are you done? So we discuss now. A says the author wrote the para to show the effects of too many data on people's ability to work. Absolutely correct. That effect is given there. So A is true. B, the para is purely descriptive. We have done descriptive, persuasive, narrative, expository yesterday. Descriptive nature will only go in an information passing, information giving way. There will be no logical connection, analyzing or something like we have this in persuasive. So the answer is false for this. It's not just descriptive. Still it's not. Let me finish the point. You see, he has started that the daily people are being bombarded with lots of data and information. Yes, it is persuasive. People are being bombarded with the mountain of facts and figures, right? And then he goes into the detail, what happens in the office workers, how much data they are bombarded with, various types, mail, internet, ये सारा description चल रहा है. This one aspect. So from here, nobody should say, sir, here is the description, so the passage is descriptive. No. In the passage, you may come across different shades, but we are supposed to find out the principal one, the principal nature. So after this, he says the repercussions are grave. Repercussions are, what is the meaning of repercussion? After effects. Yeah, the effects, the influence of this. The effect is very grave, is very serious, and then he connects with the effect part. So he has given us the cause, and then he has given us the effect of this cause. Bombardment of data is the cause, and the effect is that the normal acumen, the general acumen of the people has gone down. Grasping power has gone down. इसलिए combined form में it's not descriptive. So whether it's purely or non-purely, वो लिखा हुआ है word, लेकिन it is a persuasive passage. Wherever you come across that author has used a logical, analytical style, that would be persuasive. Part में describe कर रहा है. That's what I said. कि partly it describes. If you break the passage half, the first part half is the description of the data that people are. But unless you connect the second unit, you don't get the whole idea. Is that clear? It's persuasive. It's not descriptive because it is analytical. So wherever cause and effect, these things is given, it is always logical. It's never descriptive. देखो persuasion क्या होता है कि the author whatever he has said, he is trying to establish a connection with that, right? And so that's what it is persuasive. Yes, some authors will directly address the reader and will say कि जैसे he said कि transplantation of any organs from animals to humans should not be allowed. There it was said at the very beginning and very direct, so you said कि sir it's persuasive. Here it is also persuasive because author has done an analysis and established the connection between the two. It means the bombardment of the data is the culprit because it affects and it has an adverse effect on people's understanding. It is, so what is persuasive? Persuasive is always argumentative in nature. It is persuasive, yes, because of that also, it has a certain argument to establish. No, it's not about the readers. It's not about whether you agree with it or not, disagree with it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can say, you can always agree or disagree with the author. That's altogether different thing, and that also is one of the. Then the facts and ideas, whether they are right or wrong, that's another point. That's another discussion. I'm saying that don't go into the domain of the reader's own. Very easy. We are only supposed to follow the author. I just cite an example, because in yesterday in structure also we were having some discussion on this. So this discussion is very important. You see, dear, when this building was constructed, everything was done. Some part was done by the engineer, some part was done by electrician, mason and laborers, right? If we are going to find out how the wiring of this whole building or this whole structure is done, we will only follow how the electrician did his job. What he has given here, which point he has given here, where is the power point, on all that. So as the wiring goes, we are natural, we are in a very neutral way we are evaluating that. उसने क्या किया, ठीक, वो गलत है, सही है, वो एक अलग बात है. When we read the passage, we are simply looking at how the author has done his wiring, how he has written his points. So when you and how we get it, that's another issue. But how he has written. So here we find he has written, okay, this happening, this certain thing is causing the problem. That's why the nature is persuasive. That's why it has an argument, right? So if you put it this way, whether I agree with this or don't agree with it, that's also one of the indicators. I don't dismiss that. That's also one of the indicators, because you find a point of view. It's up to you whether you agree or disagree. But and you know, in the RC section, your agreement or disagreement doesn't matter. So it's not descriptive. This is false. This was true. C says the author wrote the para to give example of the different types of data that people really know. False. It is not the entire purpose. The different data, different examples are given, but effect is left out, so false. Very good. अब जिसके लिए सारा डिस्कशन किया मैंने वो है डी में. In fact, transition sentence I wanted to discuss with you. So the sentence, the repercussions are grave, is not a transition sentence. False, because it is a transition. Yes, it's a transition. Repercussion means the effect, and after that he has discussed the effect. So it is false. E, true or false? False. List of para we discussed yesterday. इसमें सिर्फ डिस्क्रिप्शन होता है चीजों का, नंबरिंग होती है, मल्टीपल थिंग्स आर देयर. राइटर हैज ऑर्गेनाइज्ड द पैरा अराउंड द क्लॉज. ट्रू. कॉज एंड इफेक्ट इज देयर. एंड नाउ G, the repercussions are grave, acts as a divider. Yes, true. It's a divider between cause and effect. Third sentence gives the focus. False, because third sentence is merely an example sentence. Example, can example be a focus? No. Examples are secondary. Why example? The author writes just to drive home the point. रीडर को आसानी से बात समझ में आ जाए, इसलिए एग्जाम्पल दिया था. तो एग्जाम्पल इज नेवर फोकस, कहीं पे भी नहीं होगा. नहीं काउंट करिए ठीक से. मैथ्स में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है आपके, फिर अगर ऐसा होगा फिर या तो फिर मेरी काउंटिंग ऐसे मैं यू सी. थर्ड सेंटेंस इज, देखिए द फर्स्ट सेंटेंस एंड्स हियर, second starts, second ends here, and now this is the third one. Office workers find themselves ill not just by written example, right? This is the okay. So is false. Now only one of the following titles is suitable comes. So very good question of evaluative main idea. कल किया आपने, बताइए. फर्स्ट ये बताइए, ये स्टेटमेंट राइट है, ट्रू और फॉल्स? Three titles are there. It says only one is suitable. So it means you say that it is true. You find that only one is suitable. False. Okay. You are saying false. Which title is suitable according to you? Which titles? Now we come to the title. Three titles are given. let's find out the most appropriate title. Which one is the most appropriate, please? Second one. The effects of too much information. Very good. The effects. Okay. The effects of too much information, certainly that effect is given, and too much information is bombarded. So it has encompassed the whole paragraph. So second is the most appropriate one. I believe nobody have any doubt about this second one. आपका है doubt? मैंने कब बोला फर्स्ट नहीं है? अभी मैंने बोला कि सबसे बेस्ट ले रहे हैं सबसे पहले. So listen to me, yes. अच्छा, और ये क्या है? Too much information, ये कहाँ है? First part. What? How does it matter? Effects has been. No, you are saying कि sir I should put it this way. Ordering does not matter. Actually, it has, covered the passage. Too much information is given. I'm not talking about first and third as of now. Second is no doubt a very ideal answer. Too much information, yes, bombardment of data is there, and the effect of that is given here. Now let's come to the first one. Most appropriate three. You have just shattered my heart. Yesterday you gave me a very good answer. Yesterday you gave a very good answer. Now देखिए बेटा, ये दोनों चीजें cause and effect दोनों दिया है passage में. Yes or no? Cause and effect both are given. Let's focus on third one. It says increasing amounts of data. अब इसका क्या प्रभाव पड़ रहा है? What is the effect of increasing amount of data? We know nothing from the title. But this effect is very prominently mentioned in the passage, which is very adverse effect. तो आपने missing part नहीं notice किया इसमें. A title should ideally represent four. So that's why third is not the best. Now, increasing amount of data. Yes, increasing amount of data is there given in the passage. But the effect of this increasing amount of data on the people, their understanding is also given there, but missing from this title. So actually this title is half. In halfway it covers the passage. तो आपने इसको dismiss किया. अब आते हैं first वाले पे. Do you agree that first is a good title, appropriate title? It can be there, right? Yes. Anyone who disagrees? I come to you. Do you disagree? Most often you are devil's advocate. Yeah. First one choose किया है. आपने first choose कर लिया जो overwhelm कह रहा है, but यहाँ पे problem थी the effects. अच्छा वो आप इनकी प्रॉब्लम थी, सॉरी वो मैं ट्रांजिशन करना पड़ेगा. कमिंग टू फर्स्ट वन, डू यू बिलीव दैट द फर्स्ट इज आल्सो गुड टाइटल? व्हाट इज ओवरवेल्म? एंड ओवरवेल्म, whenever you are overwhelmed, it means the kind of emotions that you are facing, it is too intense to deal with. जो भी भाव हैं, क्या ये सिर्फ खुशी में होता है that you become overwhelmed? No, किसी भी सिचुएशन में, whether you are happy, you get overwhelmed, you are sad, you are in some fraught situation, you are nervous, and in all such cases, overwhelming means that you are unable to deal with it. It is so intense. So in fact, overwhelmed in itself has effect inbuilt. इफेक्ट इसके अंदर ही आ जाता है, तभी तो आप ओवरवेल्म हो रहे हैं. वो उसका इफेक्ट आप पे क्या है? तो इनफैक्ट इट हैज आल्सो कवर्ड द पैसेज ओवरवेल्म बाय डेटा. तो टू सुटेबल टाइटल्स वी हैव हियर, 1 and 2. Hence this statement is false which says only one, and third is wrong. So what we did, yes, obviously because the statement is here, it says only one of the following is, so you have to answer this after analyzing the three titles. Up to you. आप बिल्कुल खामोश बैठे थे इतनी देर से, लास्ट में you have asked for my view. आप बताओ आपको क्या लग रहा है? Both are equal, but I think that second is very explanatory, effects it has mentioned. So dear, the first and second दोनों हैं, ठीक है. What happened कि यहाँ हमने देखा कि each sentence is doing a certain function in the passage, and for reading comprehension section, as some students may think, sir, does UPSC ask all this? What you are doing? ये true false ये सब करा रहे हो. देखो अब काम क्या कर रहे हैं, because कभी किसी के माइंड में आ सकता है, the online students are also there. You see, when you go to play a game, let's say cricket or football, आपको रनिंग भी करनी पड़ती है उससे पहले, वार्म अप एक्सरसाइज और ये सारा, ऐसा नहीं कि सीधे ला करके आपको बस क्वेश्चन दे दें और फिर वो उसमें. सो वी आर डूइंग द बेसिक्स ऑफ रीडिंग, basics of questioning. So the basics are on. That's the reason each sentence has a certain function, and you have noticed here yes, transition sentence, the role of the sentences and their weightage in the passage. Similarly at home you will try. अब मैं एक क्लास में कराऊंगा, it will be wastage of time. आप इस एक्सरसाइज का जो फर्स्ट पार्ट है बेसिक रीडिंग स्किल का, वो सारे ये sentences and remaining questions will try at home. A couple of questions I will give you in the class also, but remaining questions. So dear, now we come back to this box. What is left is तो आपको समझ में आ गया ट्रांजिशन सेंटेंस, ये सारे छोटे छोटे से पॉइंट्स डिस्कस कर लिया. अब आते हैं कीवर्ड्स. कीवर्ड्स, certainly we can say that the keywords or loaded words, they reveal the author's emotion. As a reader we need to understand its meaning, its weightage, significance in the paragraph. ऑथर का ना जेस्चर, पॉस्चर, एक्सप्रेशन कुछ नहीं आप देख सकते, तो you have to depend on the keywords. The keywords are the indicators of various things. And keywords are not just there in the passage. They are there in the passage, they are there in the questions also, they are there present in the options as well. So actually the keywords are everywhere. What is the keyword in the question? We discussed yesterday. If the question asks you what is the most valid assumption, then assumption is the keyword. What do you infer from the above passage? Then inference is the keyword. What is the message of the passage? अगर उसने लिखा what is the essential message of the passage, तो essential message हमें निकालना है. Any other message cannot work here. What is the most important takeaway from the passage? We have to focus on this. So the keywords of the question we discussed yesterday, जब मैंने आपको different terminologies, I discussed with you essence, gist, sum up, summary, title, all that. In the options in the passage, the different keywords we will discuss, but not as of now, after a few questions. Since basics of reading, I have to going to finish now with this exercise. Yesterday I discussed with you the writing style, the structure of the passage. So here is an exercise on page number 8. There is a question given, what is the topic, subtopic, writing style? Page number 8. 7 है आपके हार्ड कॉपी और सॉफ्ट कॉपी का नंबरिंग को चला गया. तो 7, पेज नंबर 7, and this passage is mesothelioma is a rare form of cancer. अब करना क्या है? It's a time bound exercise. I will only give you 60 seconds to complete the reading, and at the same time please don't take a head start. अभी रुक जाइए. 3 answers you have to do. What is the topic, which is very easy to notice. After your 60 seconds you should be able to give the topic. What are the different aspects of the topic? Any subtopics are there? And the writing style. In single reading you have to make it a habit to take it out. Go ahead. Only first. Time up. How many have done it? Okay. All right, some 780 students have done, so it means everybody can do it. Please finish. Ready with answers? Online students, yesterday I suggested you to get the hard copy of this booklet. For this kind of practice exercises, it will enhance your efficiency if you read, because you can use pen. While reading, use pen. That's a very good habit. You need to inculcate it. Don't just read it this way. The chances are that if you may miss the line, then the wastage of time would be there. While reading, you can underline something, you can make a comma, you can make a slash if you find that there's a next topic has started, any subtopic has started, all that. चलिए dear, तो अब discuss करें. Everybody is ready. What is the topic here? मेसोथेलियोमा. ओके, बहुत आसान, क्योंकि ये बायल ही चमक रहा है यहाँ पे और सारी बात इसी की हुई है. तो दिस इज द टॉपिक. व्हाट इज द राइटिंग स्टाइल? डिस्क्रिप्टिव. डिस्क्रिप्टिव का नेचर क्या है? इंफॉर्मेटिव. All necessary information about the topic is given there, is poured down there. So the writing is descriptive. Now comes what are the different aspects of dimension of mesothelioma covered here. तो आप पाएंगे पहला सब टॉपिक है उसका cause, right? So its cause is covered. The topic and its first cause is given. Cause and the detailing of the cause is going on. After some small transitions may be here, you can say, but more or less it is on cause, right? एक major आप जो deviation you notice, the author swerve his line here when he says after 1980s, he says this sentence: when asbestos fibers are breathed into the lungs, how they cause havoc inside the body, how they start damaging the body. This entire process is given here. अगले 3-4 लाइन में वो आपको यही बताता है कि when it goes inside, how it harms the body. So in fact, this is another thing we can say, it is a kind of process of damaging or harming the body is covered here. कह सकते हैं, बट इफेक्ट में आप एक वर्ड में कह सकते हैं कि ये सब हार्मफुल है, ठीक है, इसका इफेक्ट हार्मफुल है, बट इसमें डिटेलिंग ऑफ हार्मफुलनेस इज गिवन कि हाउ डज इट स्टार्ट वर्किंग, एक पार्ट ऑर्गन ऑफ बॉडी से हाउ डज इट मूव टू अनदर, एंड then we notice another major transition, and he talks about, yes, symptoms. Very good. So he says in the next line, the symptoms of this disease. So from here he talks about the symptoms of the disease till the end. Descriptive writing, as I said yesterday, is like a highway driving. आप fast पढ़िए. That's why I gave you 1 minute. Now, number 1, use pen. Number 2, some students while reading unnecessarily stops themselves, checks their speed. Some students have this habit that they go back, regression they do, go back and start rereading. ये सब habits बन जाती हैं कुछ आपकी. जैसे yesterday you realize some habits की something we bring from our own side without realizing that we are doing it, है ना? So I told you that this unlearning is very important. We are the third party, neutral party, not allowed to intervene in the subject matter. We can only use our bowl. जो समझना है वो खाली होना चाहिए, तभी उसमें author का point आएगा, है ना? अभी ये है कि आप जब पढ़ते हैं तो कुछ लोगों का ये होता है कि दे आर रीडिंग, बट दे आर रीडिंग वेरी स्लोली, अननेसेसरीली. दे आर, दिस इज द आई स्पैन. आई स्पैन इज इन वन glance the block of words or the number of words, group of words that you read, that you see. अगर आप छोटा करके पढ़ोगे डिस्क्रिप्टिव को भी तो ये इनजस्टिस होगा. यू विल बी वेस्टिंग योर टाइम अननेसेसरली. देयर इज नो चैलेंज हियर. कैंसर के कॉज है और अब कॉज का सारा फैक्ट्स चल रहा है. So descriptive is generally factual in nature, and factual should be read fast. It's not persuasive, right? तो इसलिए अपनी स्पीड को रोके नहीं, ये हैबिट को चेक. And you cannot, and one more thing, even if you cut down your speed by half, still you cannot remember all the information. तो इसलिए unnecessarily don't stop yourself कि I should have it on fingertips. You cannot do that. You can only, so while reading the passage, you should only be worried about the major things. What is the skeleton there? बस बाकी डिटेलिंग आप नहीं होल्ड कर पाएंगे. I am talking about CSET exam hall. When you are reading a passage, just bother about the topic, the author's attitude on the topic, and what is the general structure he has used, how he has come to the point. For any answer and evaluation option, you will have to go back to the passage. There is no problem with that. Right? So going back will be like confirming your answer. So that's a good exercise. So when you have to go back, so obviously don't read slowly. Read fast. Yes, please. Can be fatal and spread to other areas of your body through the blood. Additional information is given, and what you said, I missed that. Additional. It is actually, this is a habit of the authors. When they have written something long, they write one last sentence as a summarizing or as a closing से देना होता है कि भाई ये fatal है, it's deadly. Already told that it's deadly. Right? It's not a new dimension. Yes, it is something. Yes, it is something that you have already come across. Exactly. Now, one last passage. Here again, you have to do the same thing. After reading this para, writing style and structure. Here the author's approach is very different. Please don't start now. अभी जब तक मैं timer set कर लूँ, 60 seconds should be followed strictly. Your time starts now. Shivani, I will take up your question after this exercise. Shivani and Harpreet. Good. Done? Time up. Okay, so we discuss now. Here you notice a very different approach the author has towards the topic. And writing style is different. There he mentioned his topic at the very beginning. Mesothelioma was introduced in the very first line. Descriptive generally have this. लेकिन यहाँ थोड़ा सा पहले घुमाया, good nutrition, regular exercise, long life. एंड द पॉइंट तो याद है आपको, ये जो कल मैंने आपको बताया कि कुछ लोग जलेबी बनाते हैं, पहले घुमाते हैं इधर उधर ना, दे जस्ट डोंट कम टू द पॉइंट स्ट्रेट अवे बट रादर बिल्ड द बैकग्राउंड फर्स्ट. ऑथर हैज डन द सेम. इसका मतलब इसका स्ट्रक्चर जो है वो जनरलाइजेशन क्वालिफिकेशन वाला, स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट हैज कम आफ्टरवर्ड्स बट ही स्टार्टेड विद द जनरल डिस्कशन, कॉन्टेक्चुअल डिस्कशन. Where the topic has started from? Anyone? Fourth line. Research have attributed this to the way we handle stress. And then he talks about stress management. How to manage stress. How to manage stress is discussed throughout. He teaches us that in your brain, this is the mechanism, how you respond, what you should do, what you should avoid. लेकिन बात पहले की है यहाँ से जनरल डिस्कशन से गुड न्यूट्रिशन. तो स्ट्रक्चर इज जनरलाइजेशन एंड क्वालिफिकेशन फ्रॉम दैट लिस्ट. अब कोई भी मेन आइडिया बेस्ड क्वेश्चन होगा तो उसका आंसर यहां से आएगा, इस पार्ट से. एनी ऑप्शन विच ओनली टॉक्स अबाउट दिस पार्ट dismissed, right? That's why it's very important to notice where is the main point. Coming to the writing style, the structure is clear. Writing style क्या है इसमें dear? Expository. Expository क्या थी? What is the expository writing style? Remember? What is expository? पढ़ के बताओगे? What is expository? Instructive. Instructive nature, how to do based. How to manage stress. He uses for the reader, he says, we, our brain, right? This word is quite repeatedly used here. About human body, he tells you, the catch here is our minds have. So it is telling you the process. We all have a wise self. When we move out, realization. He's trying to make it clear to the readers that how to manage stress. So, इसका writing style है expository, structure है. अब some description you may come across somewhere in some corner, but we are supposed to find out the principal one. Now, after these two exercises, I'll first take, a couple of doubts that students have asked me, online students, Harpreet, and Acha Harpreet, you have already given your answer and I have discussed. Yes, and Shivani, your doubt. Confusion between persuasive and descriptive question. Now, I will add another point to Shivani's question. She is doubtful between the two, persuasive and descriptive. And there is another issue that when we have different shades of writing style present in the passage, is it possible that different shades of writing may be there, different types of writing may be there? Answer is yes, it's very much possible. And you have read it n number of times. You all have read editorial columns, guest columns in the newspaper. Yes? Yes, at least once. कभी तो पढ़ा ही है ना? You are aware. Suppose on a certain topic, whether 370 should be removed in J&K or not. Suppose on this topic, a guest column, a retired bureaucrat who was posted in J&K has written an article on that. What is the nature of the whole article? What is the principal writing style? Persuasive. Because he will give his opinion whether it should be removed or not. He will justify if he says yes it should be or no it should not be. He will give the justifications, various points he will bring in, social issues, political issues, maybe economic issues, security challenges. So, principal writing style of this column will be persuasive, but it is very much possible that in one of the paragraph, while discussing one subtopic, author may narrate a certain incident that happened. अभी लिखता है ना author कि when I was posted there in 1986, one interesting incident took place. So by the chief minister, I was called at this 10 a.m. Then and in his office, and this happened and that happened. अब ये पूरा पैराग्राफ, ये पूरा खंड एक कहानी बता रहा है बस. तो नरेटिव भी है वहां पर, कहीं डिस्क्रिप्टिव भी हो सकता है किसी कोने में हो, लेकिन ओवरऑल वी हैव टू लुक एट. Is that clear? अब now coming persuasive, persuasive will always from persuade, यानी the author will try to convince the reader. अब convincing के लिए he will use the logic and reasoning and facts and data. Everything will be aligned, these logic, facts and data, to establish the main point. That's persuasive. Descriptive, on the other hand, author has nothing to prove or establish. He is simply giving you some pieces of information, some facts-based database things. So suppose about Delhi. You have come here, you are new in the town, so you just wanted to know about the town, and you are reading it from some about Delhi. So its people, culture, history, tourist places, everything will be there, food and all. That's descriptive writing, right? So the Shivani, that point is clear to you? Yes. Yes. आपकी मर्जी, आप कर दो. देखो, एनालाइजिंग क्लैरिफाइंग में एक खास नेचर है, वो ये होगा, एंड इन एनालाइजिंग एंड क्लैरिफाइंग द नेचर विल बी दैट ऑथर विल highlight the loopholes in something. He is not doing that. He is seeing that good nutrition and regular exercise have helped people to live long life, 100 years. लेकिन फिर भी वो कह रहा है कि we have seen some exception, the people who are not doing this still live a long life. How is that possible? He says the catch is, तो उसने कोई इसमें गलती नहीं निकाली कि the people who believe that good regular nutrition, regular exercise can only give you longevity of life, and I don't believe so. Here is my theory. He's not doing that. He's simply saying that they play a role, but it's not that only these two can do that. There's another one. So you have to look at how the author's approach is. Right? मैं जो वायरिंग वाली बात कर रहा था, इलेक्ट्रिशियन खुद अपना काम उसने कैसे किया, we are just doing that. What are the different points we deduce from it? That's another thing. But how he has written it, it's more contextual discussion and then a specific point. Yani the point, the topic, stress management starts from later on, but context setting is done here. Coming to another point. Now, Shivani, last question, and to everyone, you are preparing for CSAT, for civil services exam. Suppose an article is there where the title is how to prepare for civil services exam. What will be the nature of this article? What will be the writing style? Expository? Yes or no? Expository? Because here the writer will tell us how to prepare for this. So he will give you n number of suggestions on coaching and reading material and your own schedule and all. What is civil services exam? What will be the nature of this? Descriptive. It will only give you the details, right? Different services, we have civil services, and other details will be given, how many services are there under this one and how the exam is held and all that. Suppose an article is there that one should always, every graduate should write CSE. What will be the nature? Persuasive. Actually, it is very easy to identify the nature, the writing style. It gives you the idea that which way the passage is heading to. Alright, so I am done with this. I started this, so all this we are doing for the main idea based questions, because ultimately we have to answer. To increase your comprehension, this is the third element that I was discussing with you, and we are done. Multiple things we have discussed under this one. Let's go to the fourth one. While giving the answer, what is the fourth thing? What is another tool that we can use for accuracy, for precision? I won't say motivate, but I would say yes, it is. It will be very sharp to notice, To motivate, then again it depends on the person who is reading. Number 4. Number 4 is that some support you can get from the structure. A structure based approach may help you. Limited hai. In certain structure we can be sure. These are the common structure. There could be other structures as well, but structure is nothing, just how you identify the logical order of different subtopics. अब मेसोथेलियोमा वाले पैसेज में ऐसा कोई स्ट्रक्चर नहीं था, उसमें तो था the topic mesothelioma, its cause, its process. When you generally write your answer, the structure is that introduction, body argument, and then the conclusion. So structure could be, it's not like these 7 represent all the structure of the universe. No, they could be different. But this is very common in CSAT papers. Exception is this one, list of items. Now there are 4 structures where you can apply this formula, structure based approach. In number 1, number 3, 5 and 7. After reading a para, if you have identified that the para is problem and solution, then, and the question is main idea, you are evaluating 4 options. You can take some help from here. If the solution is given, whether it's solution or recommendation or RX of the author. RX, everybody knows RX, recommendation. Doctors write prescription पे. तो author अपना prescription देता है कि ये issue है इंडिया में and this is the prescription. This solution or prescription part is more important than the problem itself. Always. This is a rule. Rule, why? Because the author who has written, described the issue and then he has given some solution, if the question is asking about what is the crux, what is the main idea of the passage, and you come across an option A which only gives you the problem, which only covers the problem part. You have another option B which covers maybe some second problem, second aspect of the problem, but confined to problem, you can easily dismiss them. An option which contains the solution part should be the correct answer. Ab it is another thing. The criterion is that it must contain the solution part. Ab whether the problem is also mentioned there, maybe, not mentioned there, maybe, but solution must be there. Clear? So आपको dismiss करना, evaluation and elimination of the option will be easier if you have this structure and the question is main idea. Any of the main idea. So first is clear, right? Second, we come to idea explanation example, which is in the 3 components, which is most important? Idea. Same thing will be applied. All such options which only represent explanation or examples, dismiss. Because it is the core of the issue, the idea, the opinion, the main thought. So any option which contains the idea should be chosen. So quickly you can eliminate and the options. Number 5, if the author is going for discussion like we have done just that stress management wala chapter, good nutrition, so that is a generalization part. Generalization part is secondary. The specific issue or the qualification is the main point. So this should be present in the correct answer. And the last one, when author analyzes the loopholes, the weak points in others' theory, and then he gives his own correct version or his own peace of mind. What is the correct thing? What is normative that should be done? So of course, this clarification of the author is more important than the analysis part, analysis of others. So that's why in the 4th one, this part will be important. So in the structure based approach, you can mention one line that all the encircled part must be present in the correct option. For example, while discussing this previous passage we have just done, I told you that the general discussion should be omitted. Let's take another passage here. This passage we did for your structure yesterday, it's a CSAT passage. I'll show you the passages, more passages on this. देखिए, it talks about bank credit to the industrial sector has started shrinking. Its decline has been a serious concern as credit growth is essential to revive investments. So its significance has been highlighted. But author says कि origins lie in the incomplete reforms of the last 25. So he's taking us towards the origin of this issue. Of course, the origin will be more important. What is the origin? He says an institutional change that should have followed the 91 reforms should have been setting up of resolution corporation for banks. ये सेट नहीं बना, ये बनाया नहीं गया. This resolution corporation for banks was not established in with this 1991 reforms. So what is the effect of this in a market economy with booms and bursts? Everybody knows, sudden growth, sudden fall. Banks should be allowed to be set up and to fail. It should be allowed, so proper mechanism should be there for them. Today, अब आप देख रहे हो कि इसी का explanation चल रहा है. अगर ये corporation होता, it should have allowed this. Today we cannot shut down banks because there is no proper system. So in fact, this is the origin of the issue. तो अगर आपका इसका एक आपको मेन आइडिया का क्वेश्चन पूछा गया कि व्हाट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट द ऑथर वांट्स टू मेक, और ऑप्शन ए कहता है ऑथर वांट्स टू मेक दैट बैंक क्रिएटेड बीसी इज डिक्लाइनिंग. विल यू चूज दैट? नहीं, क्योंकि आपका स्पेसिफिक मुद्दा तो यहाँ है. So that's what I was saying, generalization. This part is only generalization, context setting, telling you the importance of this. तो इसकी significance बढ़ाना है उसको, इसलिए उसने आपको ये सब समझाया. Now, let's solve some PSAT questions based on structure. यहाँ ये आपके पास नहीं है dear, so you will have to rely on this. पैसेज क्वेश्चन ऑप्शन में विच इज द फर्स्ट थिंग टू बी रेड? अभी आपने क्या सबसे पहले पढ़ा? क्वेश्चन. ऑप्शन पढ़ा पहले? क्वेश्चन. बेस्ट सम्स अप द अबव पैसेज. सम्स अप मींस समरी, रीटेलिंग ऑफ द ऑथर्स मेन पॉइंट. ठीक, अब पैसेज का स्ट्रक्चर आइडेंटिफाई करना है जल्दी से. Don't go to the options. Reading of the passage must have been done by now. You have you noticed the structure, different elements? What is the structure from that list? Which one it comes close to? एक issue बताया, one problem, and then solution. Right? What is the problem? How to feed so many people? 7 से 9 बिलियन पे पहुंच जाएंगे. हाउ टू फीड देम? पेट को खाना कैसे देंगे? देन ही गोज इनटू द डिटेल ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम. वेरियस पॉइंट्स आर देयर, बट दिस पॉइंट इज अ काइंड ऑफ ट्रांजिशन सेंटेंस. हाउ कैन वी मेक द नंबर्स? ट्रांजिशन है ना. फ्रॉम हियर ही इज गोइंग टू सोल्यूशन. तो प्रॉब्लम एंड सोल्यूशन के बीच में एक कड़ी ये क्वेश्चन बना के डाल दिया उसने, ट्रांजिशन सेंटेंस. देन एक्सपर्ट्स का सजेशन वो बता रहा है. व्हाट एक्सपर्ट्स से? Experts say this thing. Then experts are cities को कहते हैं साहब ऐसा ऐसा करो. Experts poor countries को कहते हैं कि साहब आप ऐसे करो, और rich nations को कहते हैं आप भी कुछ ऐसा ऐसा करो. Then we will be able to deal with this problem. The issue and the solution by the experts. Author has given the expert solution. It means author also believes in the expert solution. Problem and solution. What is more important? We will see that which options only confine themselves to the problem. So we go to option A, which says the population of the world is growing very fast. हाँ जी, बहुत तेज ग्रो कर रहा है, 7 to 9 हो गया, लेकिन क्या ये रिप्रेजेंट करता है सोल्यूशन को? डिस्मिस. अगर ये नहीं पता तो कुछ लोग इसी की जो वेरासिटी है उसमें खो जाएंगे. हाँ जी, बहुत फास्ट है ये, तो वी कैन नॉट क्वेश्चन दिस. Certainly correct. It is growing fast, but the author's mudda, main point is not this. Food security is a perennial problem. पहले तो बात है जैसे कल वो था ना स्मार्टर चाइल्ड बाहर से आया कब की कितनी पुरानी प्रॉब्लम है author has not told this. So please notice this word. It has been inserted deliberately. Perennial problem यहीं से भगा दो इसको. Only in developing ये तो और बड़ी गलती है. Only in developing countries left out. We are left with C and D. You please tell me why C is wrong. बात जो कह रहा है वो है पैसेज में लेकिन रॉन्ग क्यों है? The world does not have enough resources to meet the impending food. Impending means approaching, upcoming. बात तो सही कह रहा है. We don't have. But why is it wrong? Because solution is not there. It is only confined to problem. Solution is here. Is increasing a collective challenge. Everybody will have to give the contribution. So this statement sums up the passage. It means it represents the crux, the main, point. Now, all these points where the author has mentioned as the solution, देखो, higher yielding crop varieties करना पड़ेगा, cities को ये करना, poor countries को ये, rich nations. It means the different parties. आपका क्वेश्चन था ना कि where is the solution? Different parties will have to play a role and we will have to fight this problem on different fronts as per this expert suggestion. Food security is increasingly a collective challenge. Of this collective challenge, the author is given here is the solution, and the collective challenge gives this idea that yes, everyone will have to play their role. It's not just that the scientists will do everything. The rich nation, the poor nation, and that's why. अब ये आपका जो पॉइंट है कि सर सोल्यूशन के फॉर्म में क्यों नहीं दिया हुआ है एकदम डायरेक्ट एंड इन अ वेरी सिंपल वे दे समटाइम्स डोंट राइट द आंसर दैट वे वी हैव टू कीप दिस रफ नोशन कि हाँ किसके क्लोज कौन सा आ रहा है. यानी अगर आप सोचेंगे कि हर जगह आंसर ऐसा मिले आपको जैसे एक आइडियल आंसर लिटरेचर में लिखा जाता है तो इट्स नॉट लिटरेचर, इट्स एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट, राइट. तो अगर हम यहाँ पे इसको ऐसे लिखें समराइज फॉर्म में इस पूरे पॉइंट को, समटाइम्स यू मे कम अक्रॉस दैट काइंड ऑफ सिंपल ऑप्शन, समटाइम्स यू विल फाइंड कि द ऑप्शन इज नॉट रिटन एग्जैक्टली इन दैट वे बट कम्स क्वाइट क्लोज टू इट. लेकिन आपका काम तो चल गया कि हाँ जहां जहां प्रॉब्लम है उसको भी डिसमिस कर दो. अब अगर ये पॉइंट इफ यू डू नॉट नो दिस पॉइंट देन चांसेस आर दैट सम स्टूडेंट्स विल चूज ऑप्शन सी बिकॉज दे फील दैट इट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द पैसेज and it is coming but it does not represent the main point. That's the reason. Okay, I give you another question. Please ensure that there is no error. I am going very slow क्योंकि फास्ट करने से अच्छा है कि पहले कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हो जाए. पैसेज नंबर 2 and after that I will give you पैसेज नंबर 2 पहले कर लीजिए. Done? Yes. अच्छा, बिफोर आई शेयर द आंसर दिस अनाउंसमेंट नीड टू बी मेड, कि नहीं तो मैं भूल गया बाद में. तो देखिए, ऑन एज आई टोल्ड यू यस्टरडे दैट टिल थर्सडे 7th अगस्त आई हैव क्लासेस ऑफ आरसी. आज के बाद 2 और क्लासेस होंगी, वेंसडे थर्सडे, एंड देन ऑन 8th यू हैव मैथ्स. फ्राइडे 8th फ्राइडे maths. 9th and 10th are off for Raksha Bandhan, right? So this is the announcement. Now coming to the question, which option you have chosen, class? Yes, D. D for Delhi. Okay. Any other option? No. Very good. Why not any other? अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा. But 60% अभी भी D है ना? हाँ. Very good. 40% भी वापस लाते हैं. देखिए, I told you to be sensitive. Issue ये है. What is the issue here? वहां था previous passage में, issue was food. How to feed so many people. Here the issue is unemployment. So how to generate employment. इस issue के ऊपर author का recommendation या solution, I told you that this is a very important element. It comes towards the end part. The solution or recommendation is given here. This part, while making the point, he says over the last, ये कहता है option A, strong measures need to be taken to reduce the rural to urban migration of labor. If you choose this option, dear, question is that what is best implied? Best implied, implied is that author wants to convey his main point, but he has not said it very openly. The moment you come across a question of implied, it means the author has not said it openly in the passage, but he meant to say it. बहुत बार आप कोई बात ऐसे भी कहते हो ना, कि अपनी बात सीधी नहीं कहते हो किसी से, थोड़ा सा, लेकिन जो कहना चाहते हो वो उसको पहुंच जाता है. तो implied में वही सेंस है. तो migration is mentioned here. Last decades also labor has been departing heavy, but is only going to construction and registered manufacturing. अगर आप थोड़ा रिवर्स भी इसमें कर लेते हो तो यू वुड रियलाइज कि ये इसको 10% भी नहीं देने वाला है, बिकॉज इट डज नॉट रिप्रेजेंट द अदर पॉइंट्स. So he talks about first this, then he talks about service sector. About service sector, another option the examiner has made here, service sector has been reducing the problem of unemployment and some people may stick to it because connected to the passage. अब देखिए सर्विस को रिप्रेजेंट कैसे किया, एटीट्यूड, टोन ऑफ द ऑथर. इज द सर्विस सेक्टर प्रेजेंटेड हियर इन अ पॉजिटिव वे, पॉजिटिव लाइट? आंसर इज नो. वो कहता है सर्विस वेयर लेबर टेंड्स टू बी मोस्ट प्रोडक्टिव आर नॉट जनरेटिंग द एडिशनल जॉब्स द कंट्री नीड्स. तो सर्विस को तो वो, इट मीन्स does not represent. Then he says India will need 24 million or so jobs over the next decade. The new sector e-commerce can best close only half the jobs gap, only those, and this is a keyword here because he emphasizes on this point. Those sectors that drive domestic demand such as health and education can comfortably fill the other half. So author's point is that only these sectors can fill the gap, employment gap. अब health और education क्या होता है? That is a social sector. So examiner will write his answer in a different language. Please understand that. Previous question में भी यही तो मैं आपको तो यहाँ पे तो he is talking about the social sector कि it means spending because it can create the job. So D is the best option. Catches the RX of the author. Now I want to change the structure because अगर वही दूंगा तो अब आप फिर कैच कर लोगे. Passage 29. It asks about the most crucial message. So the keywords are highlighted here. Crucial. It means any message, just any message cannot qualify as an answer. It needs to be the most crucial. What is a message? Message is the author's takeaway from the passage, what he wants to convey in a broader sense to the readers from his passage. Which option? D, C. Okay, some have chosen C and some have chosen D. Anyone for A or B? You can also apply reverse. है ना, आप तो free हो कुछ भी. So A or B, nobody has chosen. Very good. B. Achha, this meat producing industry violates the laws against cruelty to animals. Then the laws should be there, because if it is the main message, it means the author should have given some. Though we come to know from the passage that yes, they are not kept in a very good condition. They are cramped and unhygienic condition. They are kept. But which are the laws that are being violated? No mentioning of that. So this is the keyword. That's why. Yeah. A option is the weakest option. You look at the author's attitude towards the topic. This says meat through industrial farming is cheap and is suitable. Positive word, whereas the author is criticizing it. So ये तो मेल ही नहीं खाता, attitude से, tone से ही मेल नहीं खाता. It's out of scope. कल की क्लास में I will make you write down the different characteristics of wrong options. तो ये out of scope और beyond scope option है, इसका चांस ही नहीं है. इसके लिए आपके पास डेटा नहीं है. So it's actually data inadequate for this. Coming to C and D. अब C के अंदर एक वर्ड, अब इसने बड़े क्लोज ऑप्शन दोनों बनाए. जनरली यू विल कम अक्रॉस 2 क्लोज एंड 2 वीक ऑप्शंस, राइट. वेरी रेयर केस है कि जहां पर ऑथर विल गिव यू, एग्जामिनर विल गिव यू 3 क्लोज ऑप्शंस. दैट विल बी अ वेरी टफ क्वेश्चन. हाउ मेनी हैव चोजन डी? रेज हैंड्स. D, Delhi, last option. Okay, all the online students have also chosen D. Environmental cost of meat production is unsustainable when it is produced through industrial farming. Is unsustainable. Where is the evidence for this unsustainable? Water. You can say, sir, in the last, it is water intensive. Water intensive, and the data is given for that. Okay, there's one support. Where else? Which other part gives you the support for this unsustainable environmental problem, environmental cost? और कहाँ पर है? Health pandemic. Very good. This is also environmental, right? It has said such practices have resulted in many of the world's health pandemics. So we find that one point here and one point here, though the option is very close, but these two gives that support. Now coming to C part, mass production of meat through industrial farming is undesirable. ये बात तो अच्छी लिखी है, matching with the author's stand, and should be stopped immediately. ये उसने आपको दिया है एक थोड़ा सा extreme notion. a contextual extremism that should be stopped immediately. Now the question is that if the author says should be stopped immediately, though he has told it is not good, but can it be corrected or should be? No, I'm just telling you that what the author has said. Can this practice be corrected or it should be stopped immediately? He has not gone into that domain. Telling you all the problems with this, how the things are being done, the practice is really evil. But he has not said it can be corrected or not. I mean, this condition in which the animals are kept or the scale at which they are slaughtered, can it be brought down or not? Or the condition can be changed or not? तो immediately उसने एक एड ऑन लगाया कि ये थोड़ा सा एक्सेसिव मोड में जाएगा और आपके पास सपोर्ट इन दोनों को आप जब मैच करोगे तो आपको लगेगा इसका सपोर्ट मिल रहा है. So you may come across this kind of where the keywords play a very important role, right? So we have I'll forward you this test but through online. ठीक है, वो आपके उसमें मोड पे आ जाएगा. someday you will solve that during the break. जो अभी थर्सडे के बाद से मेरी क्लासेस नहीं है, सैटरडे संडे यू हैव ऑफ, तो वन डे यू टेक आउट बिकॉज द 30 क्वेश्चंस आर गिवन देयर. ऑल द 30 वी कांट डिस्कस इन द क्लासरूम, बट एज ऑफ नाउ वी आर जस्ट टू थिंग्स that the main idea based questions which are there and the various terminology that is used there, if we apply all these in a way we can deal with some of, I mean, a considerable number of questions. A structure based approach I have just discussed. When you evaluate the options, coming to the option side, generally they write this option is a kind of option trap. जानबूझ के ऐसी बातें लिखी जाती हैं. They deliberately write such points which are very attractive to the readers. They know your background and your vulnerabilities. So dear, 2 close options and 2 weak options. ये जनरली रहता है, 2 weak, 2 strong. This is the general ratio. Your job is to always go for elimination, evaluation and elimination. Evaluate all the options, quickly pick out the wrong ones. So the answer for Pallavi, the answer was option D for the previous question. First job, you have to read all the options because you are asked find out the most appropriate one. So you have to read all, but quickly eliminate the wrong ones. अब आपका mental mindset कैसा होना चाहिए? This while reading the option, your mindset should be exactly like the mindset of your evaluator. When you write a main idea your GS answers, and the examiner who is going to read your answer doesn't read as a fan. He doesn't get impressed by your answers, though you are writing good. But what he does, because you consider the bulk of work he has to do, so what he does that he is reading it with this as a critic approach, and he's just looking for the errors. आप किसको ही करो यही काम. Look for the error. Don't just read the options and get mesmerized by its truthfulness, its applicability, practical. नहीं, आपको सिर्फ एरर देखना है. अब आप जब ये एरर में देखोगे तो आपको लगेगा ये सी में ये इमीडिएटली स्टॉप्ड है, ये थोड़ा सा with a pinch, you know. So let me just consider another option. This is very important. So 2 options when you evaluate, once you eliminate the wrong ones, आपने crowd कम कर दिया. अब now you are better focused to deal with A and D. Once you come across 2 close options A and D, what should be your approach? Because many students have this issue. They say कि sir, I have this problem कि I find 2 options, get confused between the 2, and later on one of them is correct answer. But at that time I am unable to decide. कुछ को कई बार ये भी होता है कि सर फर्स्टली आई बिलीव दैट बी विल बी करेक्ट बट देन आई लेटर ऑन फाउंड आउट दैट डी वाज करेक्ट. तो जो पहले लगा कई बार उसको चेंज कर देते हैं. एक छोटा सा पॉइंट है बट डोंट टेक इट इन अ वेरी हार्ड एंड फास्ट मैनर कि नहीं यही रूल है. बट आई वुड टेल यू दैट एट द फर्स्ट when you feel that one option is correct, mostly that option is correct in most of the cases. क्योंकि आप सेकेंड उसमें क्या जाते हैं, यू गो इनटू ओवर एनालिसिस एंड देन अनदर ऑप्शन हैज ड्रॉन योर अटेंशन. तो जो आपको एक होता है ना कि एक नी जर्क रिएक्शन के हिसाब से आपको लगता है ये वाला ठीक लग रहा है आफ्टर रीडिंग, मोस्टली वही सही होता है. ये तो एक पॉइंट है, आप देखिएगा अपना ट्राई करके कि व्हाट इज इन योर केस. आई एम डिस्कसिंग अनदर पॉइंट कि ये हाउ टू डील विद टू क्लोज ऑप्शन. This is a very important point, so better write this title, how to deal with two close options. And this is true, whatever I am discussing here will be true for all sorts of questions. It's not just main idea, but logical questions also. How to deal with this? Obviously the examiner has done some work here. He has spent some time to bring them close. Our job is challenging. तो आप ये काम करो कि पहले तो ऐसे जैसे आप ऑप्शन, समटाइम्स यू रीड द ऑप्शंस वेरी क्विकली. एक होता है ना कि ग्लांस में आप ऑप्शन देखते हैं. वीक ऑप्शंस हैव नोटिसेबल एरर्स, दैट्स व्हाई यू डिसमिस देम. बट हियर यू नीड टू बी स्लो डाउन. व्हेन यू come across two close option, read them slowly, just maybe word to word. And during this process, you are hell-bent to find that error part. There will always be a word which is going to make or break it, going to make it wrong. और वो कई बार क्या होता है, towards the end that wrong word is written, towards the end part. You will notice कि first part or first half part may be correct, so it wins your confidence. And towards the end he has added something, right? So ये एक तो पहला काम ये है कि your approach will be to close options. I will read both options slowly, word to word reading, with the intent to find out the wrong word that has been written there to make it wrong. And this word generally will be there towards the end part of the option. एंड की तरफ जाते जाते हम थोड़े कॉम्प्लेसेंट हो जाते हैं, थोड़ा नहीं ध्यान देते हैं, क्योंकि बिगिनिंग पार्ट ने ही बिल्कुल सही बात कह दी, कहते हैं उसके साथ हो लेते हैं, हाँ जी सही है. दिस इज पॉइंट नंबर वन. पॉइंट नंबर वन इज क्लियर. इट इज योर अप्रोच, योर रीडिंग अप्रोच, स्लो एंड मोर कॉशियस. पॉइंट नंबर टू, एक बार चेक कर लो वापस जाके कि आप जो गिवन क्वेश्चन है उसी का आंसर देख रहे हो, दोनों में कंफ्यूज हो के या नहीं. ये होता है, इट्स वेरी रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस. Suppose they have asked a question of main idea, but the option that you are confused between A and D, option A is a valid assumption but not represent the main idea. But this valid assumption will look correct. Why? Because it has logical connection with the passage, so you will agree with it. आपको बात उसमें कोई गलत नहीं दिखेगी, क्योंकि आपका बैक ऑफ माइंड तो सारा एनालिसिस आप कर चुके हो. सो यू हैव डन द एनालिसिस, सो ऑफ कोर्स इट विल बी रेलेवेंट, इट विल अपीयर रेलेवेंट. बट हियर अ स्टूडेंट माइट हैव फॉरगॉटन व्हाट द क्वेश्चन इज ऑल अबाउट. Examiner takes this benefit. A question of message, what is the crucial message of the passage, may be different, and an answer to an inference could be different. क्योंकि assumption and inference and corollary, they do not come with this condition, with this rider कि it should represent the main point of the passage. उसके साथ ऐसा नहीं होता है. तो जब आप main idea search कर रहे हैं, getting confused between two close options, once remind yourself that whether it is the main idea or it is something else, answers to some other question. So this is the second case. How to deal with? Second, cross-check the question type. This is the second point. In case if you want to write, you can, or if you remember it, take a mental note, better. Now, it's a very interesting job to write the options and to actually attract and trap you. He's master in this art, UPSC examiner. So much so that at times, and you know it in fact, that even coaching institutes have different answers. So जो faculty वो भी वो कर रहा है. लेकिन this should not be in one or two questions. A couple of questions it could be there. Otherwise, the majority, 90% of the questions do not have this kind of problems. 90-95% में Which 5-10% there could be some cases of subjectivity of the examiners where the answer itself is very baffling. I have come across this problem. In 2024 also there were 2 questions where the answer was, UPSC's official answer was different, and unfortunately UPSC does not give explanation, so they just give the answer. So you have to understand this art of writing the wrong option. So before that, एक छोटा सा game है. I want a volunteer for that. What's your name? Come again, the first name? Abhay. Okay. Abhay means fearless. Suits you, huh? Abhay, you have to just follow certain instructions, and you are not supposed to reveal your answer. At the end of the game of these instructions, I will tell you what your choice was. Okay? So others can also play it along, but silently. Abhay, certain instructions are there. I generally play this. कुछ लोगों को शायद अभी लगा हो कि हाँ, yes, I know this game, but please wait. It's not that game. Hold your horses. You have to choose Abhay one number between 1 to 9. Instruction. Don't reveal anything, right? Just keep it to yourself. In the heart of your hearts. You have to keep. बिल्कुल अंदर रखना है Abhay. कोई भी आंसर आपने नहीं बोलना. You have to just follow the instruction, do your mental things, and then keep it to yourself. Please choose another number, short of 1. So any number between 1 to 9. Please don't choose 5 because I already revealed. Now, whatever number you have chosen, you have to suppose this number you have chosen given here, you have to multiply this number with 9. Done? If your answer is of double digit, अगर आपका यहाँ 2 digit आ रहा है, then please add both digits. If it is of single digit, then let it be. अगर 9 1 9 हो रहा है तो single digit है तो उसको ऐसे ही रहने दे. If 2 digits, then add them. Done? Now you have to reduce 5 from it. Done? Whatever the final number you have come across here, you have to, the actual game starts now. In case you have got 1, you have to choose A. If it is 2, B, 3, C, this way you have to choose the letter. You have chosen a letter? Now, the chosen letter, say you have to think of a country's name, not a city or a state. And don't reveal. A country's name is starting with this letter. Done? Done? State or city nahi hona chahiye. Now, from the last letter of that country's name, think of an animal's name starting with that letter. Just think, don't reveal. Don't think of bird or insects. Bas animal hona chahiye. Done? Last name of that animal and the last letter of that name, you have to think of a color starting with that letter, last letter. Done? जल्दी बोलो भाई, टाइम नहीं ज़्यादा इसमें. I can't give you time. Not getting the color. Who else was playing along? Yes, so many. Most everyone. वही नहीं खेल रहे जिनको लंच की पड़ी हुई है ज़्यादा. Okay, so you have chosen a color. If all of you have chosen color, right? I think your color is orange. Yes. Who has a different color? Which color? Red. Then either you are weak in maths or in GK. Let's find it out. So Amit sir's case. Abhay, where we missed you? What you chose? Yes. आपने कैलकुलेशन गलत किया. Anshika, I gave the correct answer. Prem Rana, yes. I told you, I'm not going to. Now the point is, I come back to RC. The takeaway from this, the crucial message from this game was, how was I able to predict your answer? Because your all moves were already anticipated. Your all calculations, yes? कैसे कोई एनिमल मैं बताऊं? Kangaroo? अच्छा अब देखिए इसमें क्या था, वॉट एवर नंबर यू चूज डियर, दो आई शुड नॉट रिवील माई गेम, और वॉट एवर नंबर यू चूज यू विल एंड विथ 4. लेटर आ गया, विच कंट्री विल गो टू, चांसेस उसी के, दुबई पे तो नहीं चलेगा, दैट्स अ सिटी, डेनमार्क, दो देयर इज अनदर कंट्री आल्सो स्टार्टिंग विद डी, अनदर कंट्रीज नेम जिबूती, जिबूती, yeah. The Djibouti is also there with D, DJ something. But वो आपको याद नहीं आएगा. बहुत कम countries हैं with D. So Dubai you will land. जब you land, Denmark. When you go to Denmark from K, वो बेचारा animal नहीं सोच पाया. That's the problem. K से आपको बहुत कम animals हैं. तो आपके दिमाग में kangaroo आएगा या koala भी आ सकता है, but koala के chances बहुत weak है. Kangaroo is in your hard disk. अब कैंगरू के जब कलर पे जाओगे तो ओ से आपको ऑरेंज कलर याद आएगा, उसके चांसेस बहुत है, हाँ लेकिन वो उसके थोड़ा कम चांसेस है. अब देखिए सारी बातें चांसेस पे हैं. व्हाट यू आर फैमिलियर विद, नाउ प्लीज लिसन टू मी, दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट डियर. वॉट एवर यू आर फैमिलियर विद, यू जनरली टेम्प टू गो फॉर दैट थिंग. बाद में एक्सप्लेन करना ये what I am trying to convey. अब इसीलिए आप वो ऑप्शन क्यों चूज करते हैं, इस ऑप्शन, जनरली you choose such options that you know about, they are vivid in your memory. The moment you find them there, you stop thinking and you choose them. The way you chose here, a kind of things, from here to here to here, you have, and it was predicted accurately. So this is the thing, when option writing, examiner knows your age, your knowledge, your GS exposure, and it's an aptitude test. So he builds his options around them. So too close and too weak options का generally वो रहेगा. अब now the last part we come to, main idea when he writes, what are the common types of wrong options? If we know the symptoms of wrong options for main idea based questions, then with this understanding we will approach the options, and the chances are we will not fall into that trap. Right? तो मेन आइडिया के ऑप्शंस का, रॉन्ग ऑप्शंस एंड देयर सिम्टम्स, और यू कैन राइट द ट्रेट्स. ट्रेट्स मीन्स कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स और एट्रीब्यूट्स. द ट्रेट्स ऑफ out of scope. Out of scope, it means it is no information about this is given in the passage. It is coming from outside. आपको बताया था कि जूस में पानी मिला रहा है जूस वाला, not coming from orange. He's adding some color. So out of scope वाले ऑप्शन बहुत इजीली आप उसको, जैसे अभी आपने देखा था उस पैसेज में, प्रीवियस पैसेज में, लॉज, क्रुएल्टी अगेंस्ट, तो लॉज वाज देयर. सेकंड थिंग, extremes. Yes, this is very helpful for all the aspirants. Extreme options. Extreme options means they have some extreme words in them, they have some extreme notions in them, and these extreme could be in a very absolute way. They say all, they say always, ये सब कीवर्ड में मैं डिस्कस कर लूंगा. तो एक्सट्रीम नेचर जब होता है तो you come across that. Like immediately was also given there, and one of the word that should be noticed. But let me also write this important point, that they are usually wrong, not always wrong. So it should not happen कि in a jiffy you have dismissed all the options which have extreme notions. हो सकता है उनमें से कोई extreme सही भी हो, because the author himself might have written extreme points. Very much possible. So mostly आप कह सकते हो कि 9 out of 10 times extreme options वाले wrong होते हैं, but कभी कभी सही भी हो सकता है. So be careful. Third one, we have discussed some questions, so of course you can recall from that and tell me. Yes. So partially correct, right? Or partly correct. आपको अभी बोला था कुछ बिगिनिंग में सही बात लिखेगा, from the passage he will write the correct point, and towards the end he may add something, some adulteration can be done, और वो उसको गलत. तो partly correct वाले से सावधान रहिए, ये बहुत खतरनाक होता है. Number 4, data inadequate is quite close to this out of scope type. No information about that is given, but here it could be very subtle also. Subtle का मतलब बहुत close सा हो कि पूरी बात तो नहीं बताई है. उसने ये बोला है कि most of the students of this class have cleared test 1, and the option is saying कि each and every student has cleared the test. So most and each and every, no, there is some gap there. So ऐसा कुछ data inadequate बहुत close वाला होगा. Out of scope is totally new information given there. And this one I'm writing, and please understand my perspective here. देखिए GS based facts universally true or generally true, this type of points he also uses. Some philosophical thing he has written, some sayings he has mentioned there, some proverbs type of things he has written there. So there again chances are some student may fall. So these are the common characteristics of the wrong option. Our correct option should be just opposite of it. It should represent the whole, the main point of the passage without any adulteration from outside, and it should really represent the takeaway of the passage. Point 5 is, I have written GS based facts, though not given in the passage as such, right? अब पैसेज क्वेश्चन में दिमाग में आ रहा है कुछ. एक 2020 में एक पैसेज आया where the author was talking about that how the irony he was talking about, that it is ironical that we don't take care of water sources like rivers, but we focus on extraction of water from the water bodies. So he says that it's an irony. Our engineering system is focused more on extraction, supply side, rather than preservation of the water sources, rivers and wetlands. इस पे पैसेज था. अब उसमें एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था, I think main idea or inference maybe, I don't remember, but one of the options says that the preservation of these things should be done as per Ramsar Convention. ऐसा कुछ करके एक GS point लिखा. अब उसका कोई लेना देना नहीं है पैसेज से. It is nowhere mentioned about, no information about this particular convention is given there, right? So, but maybe connected externally. So he'd say GS based facts से भी थोड़े से रहेंगे. Though, having said that, I want to tell you one more thing. Such options which are going against the general understanding, GS understanding, they also are incorrect. Why? Because the passages are generally on ecology, environment, market economy, social issues, the GS topics are there. So most of the time the author has written a sensible thing. Of course, he will always write, unless that he is a maverick. So he will write those points which are otherwise acceptable, correct, appealing to a sense of judgment, balance. इसलिए जो options भी होंगे, they are also according to the GS knowledge, according to our own understanding, they will be correct. Yes. So any such option which is talking a very, abrupt thing, such a thing which is not appealing to a balance, sense of balance and all thing, has also tendency to be incorrect. But मैं contradict कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पर, just because कि if you are attracted towards an option simply because it is telling one GS based facts which you otherwise know, then please cross check it. Right? But I don't mean that any point which is going to be correct which should always not be related to GS. हो सकता है उसके बेस पे भी सही हो, because the author most of the time writes sensible things. They are scholars. So please understand this point, right? So Ramsar convention मैंने आपको जो बोला, no information was there in the passage, that's why that should not have been chosen. Universally true and acceptable facts and all that comes in the same category. So the main idea based questions and their characteristics of the wrong options is clear, right? One, that's possible in some cases. Suppose author himself has said, I'm just giving an example. Suppose the author has said that the only solution for to contain greenhouse gases is XYZ, right? Number one, you see here, look at the author's point. He himself has taken a very extreme position. We all know that there could be multiple solutions. अब science भी एक ही solution नहीं बताता है. There are other solutions also through lifestyle and through other approaches we can contain this. But let's say that the author has said that the only solution is XYZ. It means he believes in only one solution. For him, there is no second solution. Position uski extreme hai. In that scenario, if the question and the correct option is talking something extreme nature, it is very much, it can be accommodated by the author. It is acceptable. तो मैं बस वो केस बता रहा था कि always correct होगा, यानी ये always wrong होगा, तो it's not always wrong. That's what I said. So and I will show you. हम लोग जब क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करेंगे तो you will see कि some cases, कुछ केसेस में ये करेक्ट भी हो जाता है. So having discussed that, let me take you back to this. God bless you. The author implies that. The keyword is implies. Everybody knows what he tends to say, right? So आप उसका मुद्दा नहीं मिस करेंगे यहाँ पे. Please read and choose the correct option. I'll show you. Yes. B Bombay. And somebody was saying D. B everybody. Actually B and D तो बहुत close है, इसलिए मैं हम B Bombay और D Delhi करते रहते हैं क्लास में. ठीक है. So what do you choose? अच्छा, let's keep it aside. Just look at the passage. Main idea you have to find out, right? So what is the main point here? In which sentence it is given? Difficulty. Difficulty in income comparison. क्योंकि यहाँ के बाद देखो यहाँ से because he is giving you the reason. Reason is not important because it is only a base. Point is here. So author is talking about the difficulties in national income कंपैरिजन बिटवीन अंडर डेवलप्ड एंड इंडस्ट्रियलाइज कंट्रीज आर पर्टिकुलरली सीरियस. सीरियस क्यों है? कारण क्या है? कारण तो सेकेंडरी है ना. तुम्हारा आंसर शुड कम फ्रॉम दिस पार्ट. नाउ अब लुक एट द आवर अप्रोच विल बी क्रिटिक्स अप्रोच. फाइंड द एरर. आपने जैसे ही देखा ए ऑप्शन, द एंटायर नेशनल आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस्ड एंड कंज्यूम्ड इन इंडस्ट्रियलाइज्ड कंट्री, एंटायर इन कंट्रीज पासेस थ्रू कॉमर्शियल चैनल्स. अगर हम ये ऑप्शन चूज कर लें तो वी आर सिंपली ट्राइंग टू मेक अ लॉजिकल डिडक्शन फ्रॉम दिस पार्ट. कि अच्छा यहाँ प्रॉब्लम आ रही बिकॉज इन अंडर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज इट डज नॉट पास, इट मीन्स दैट इन डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज इट पासेस थ्रू. So you have missed the main point. Got it? In option A does not represent the author's main point because the author wants to highlight the comparison income and the difficulty in that. So difficulty is missing from this. It is only talking about what is happening in industrialized countries. Out. Does not qualify as an answer. लेकिन logically appealing है. So answer should be main idea. Yes. Coming to option C. B looks good, but C पे पहले चलते हैं. No part of national output should be produced and consumed without passing through commercial. No part of output should be produced and ये ऐसा लग रहा है एक सलाह दे रहा है. It is giving a piece of advice. Why, who are you to give this piece of advice? Author's main point is not to give the advice. Author's main point is to highlight the difficulty in the income comparison. He is not saying it should not happen or that should not happen. उस टेरिटरी में नहीं जा रहा है वो. तो आपका आंसर आपको सी को लग गया कि सी हैज टेकन अ डिफरेंट रूट. ऑप्शन डी सेज अ पार्ट ऑफ द नेशनल आउटपुट बीइंग प्रोड्यूस्ड एंड कंज्यूम्ड विदाउट पासिंग थ्रू कमर्शियल चैनल्स इज अ साइन ऑफ अंडर डेवलपमेंट. ये उल्टा कर दिया इसी पॉइंट को. एंड इट्स अगर ये साइन ऑफ अंडर डेवलपमेंट हो तो देन इट शुड हैपन इन ऑल अंडर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज. But author is only saying that in various underdeveloped countries, and this suggests as if it is a sign, then it should be applied to all under. So it is a difference from there. And you see the correct option B, existence of non-commercialized sector in different various underdeveloped countries renders the national income comparisons over countries difficult. And author's main point was to highlight the difficulty. So this difficulty is captured here. It means idea is there and that idea is represented by this. Rest of the options have some logical deductions they have made and just based on that. So dear, evaluation of the option is a very important activity. So I want to summarize this point. Only being good at reading is not sufficient. You may be a very good reader, you know the meaning of all the given words, you know the writing tools and you have identified the structure and all that, but equally good you should be in terms of evaluation of the options. Saying that, I don't mean to undermine the importance of reading. Important, yes, that is basic. Reading should be in place, but evaluation may you should be sharp and looking for the error. That is the most important agenda. When read the option, find the error and eliminate them. So no more passages, no other theory in the next. Yes. हाँ, एक तो नहीं, इंटायर को मैंने हाईलाइट इसलिए किया डियर कि एक तो ये देखो इंटायर एक तरह का एक्सट्रीम होता है, मतलब 100% है ना, कंप्लीट, इंटायर, फुल, होल. इन टुमारोज क्लास आई विल मेक यू राइट डाउन ऑल द एक्सट्रीम नोशंस. इससे आपका नोशन परकअप होते हैं, यहाँ से डाउट बढ़ना स्टार्ट होता है. बट ये जो पॉइंट है पासिस थ्रू कमर्शियल चैनल्स, अब नाउ वी डू नॉट नो बिकॉज द डिफिकल्टी इज मिस्ड आउट फ्रॉम दिस ऑप्शन. So the major point is this, ki what this passage, what this option says, it misses out the main point. This gives us a point of doubt. तो अगर आप मान लो, आप क्या नाम है आपका? रजत, आपके पास CSAT paper you are solving and you have got only 2 minutes and there are 2 passages left. अब you have to choose an option. So you will, in that case, once you start reading and you get confused, still you will notice this word entire. You should and dismiss this. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इसलिए now you are not looking at the entire picture. Entire picture is that, say, look at what the message of this option is and whether it represents the author's main point. Answer is no. अगर आप इसको, अच्छा मैं 1 मिनट को इसको कर दूं few, बहुत सेफ वर्ड, आपने तो मोस्ट बोला, मैं few कर देता हूं, तब भी ये रॉन्ग है डियर. क्यों? क्योंकि क्वेश्चन है कि ऑथर कहना क्या चाहता है, मुख्य what is his main point, and this one is only saying कि what is happening in the underdeveloped countries. Underdeveloped countries renders the produce and consumer in industrialized countries passes through. अब it is only talking about the developed countries, industrialized countries. Author's main point is the income comparison is difficult between the two types of countries. Why? The reason is given here. So that difficulty is not present in the correct option, in this option A. So that's why this option is incorrect. लेकिन जल्दी वाले में आप ये सब नोट करके आप इसको और इवेल्युएट कर सकते हैं बिगनिंग से. Now, so you must be tired and bored by now. Dear, tomorrow's class I will discuss the keywords, very important, and then I will tell you the fine line difference between message, crux, summary. That's very important thing to know, and that will be the second step. So one home assignment I have given you to solve all the questions given in the basic reading skill, those paragraphs and topic sentences and all that. Whatever is left, you are supposed to complete that. One thing you have to work upon is, you know how many passages are given in the CSAT paper? ये इस साल आया. This year in CSAT 2025, ये तो dear इस बार इन्होंने 16 passages दे दिए. In 2024, they gave 18 passages. Not big, but you know, they have given 29, maximum passages was 29 given in the year 2017. इसके बाद 26 भी आया है, 25 भी आया है, 24 भी आया है. It means you should be ready to read maximum 29 passages and minimum 16. Which means that your reading speed should be good. I strongly believe that UPSC was very generous this year and this year also, because they इसमें 16 में से 13 passages had 2 questions. इतने छोटे paragraph और 2 questions थे 13 में. Remaining 3 passages had just 1 question. If on a small para you have 2 questions, you are blessed. बेटा हाँ थे तो assumption के भी थे, मेन आइडिया के भी थे, लेकिन आपको देखो कितना कम पढ़ना पड़ रहा है. और अगर एक ही एक क्वेश्चन होता, अगर ये साल होता, ये सीन अभी ये 21 में इन्होंने 2021 में इन्होंने 26 पैसेज दिए, 27 क्वेश्चंस पूछे, यानी ईच पैसेज 1 क्वेश्चन. इट इज वेरी टायरिंग, वेरी टायरिंग. हर बार आपको एक नई कहानी पढ़नी पड़ती है, एक नया आर्ग्यूमेंट. तो एनालिसिस एंड ऑल दैट यू गेट स्टक अप. तो व्हाट पॉइंट इज कि स्पीड रीडिंग ये आपको मेजर करना है अपना, ठीक है, कि यू शुड बी एट अ सर्टेन लेवल. और इसको करने के लिए बुकलेट में इन द पेज 2 वी हैव गिवन द होल एक्सरसाइज. एवरीथिंग इज रिटन देयर. इन टुमारोज क्लास प्लीज लेट मी नो योर स्पीड रीडिंग. आपको अपना WPM मेजर करना है, वर्ड्स पर मिनट. इट्स गिवन ऑन पेज 2. ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स, गिवन ऑन पेज 2. Choose 5 articles from editorial pages. Timer of 1 minute. Take a pencil when you start reading. Reading along with comprehension. ठीक है, कई बार कुछ लोग बाद में पूछते हैं कि सर कॉम्प्रिहेंशन भी करना था. हाँ, समझना भी था भाई. It's not just reading. So you have to read one timer. आपने एक रीडिंग किया, फर्स्ट रीडिंग ऑफ 1 article. Suppose you have read, you calculate all the words. Suppose you have read 108 words. Second reading, but the next article, not the same. Don't repeat the same, otherwise your speed will go up. You have read 132, and this way you will do all the 5 writings, then divide it by 5. Take the average WPM. Let me know in tomorrow's class. कम से कम 200 वर्ड के आसपास, यानी 200 words is acceptable. इसके आसपास आपको होना चाहिए. No, so if it is 130, 40, 50, whatever it is, let me know, and some suggestions are also written there how to increase it. So that's it. Any doubts, any question? Complex questions. Exigencies are, in a way you can put it, but that will be a very rough translation. It is question, complexity, confusion. They are closer words. Online students, if in case of doubt, You can write your doubts if you have missed any point. It's on.